Welcome back to Sprague Homestead. 2020 is on the verge of rolling into 2021, and we always love looking back at what we planned to do for the year and did we actually get it done. So,
Never do.
this video is going to be looking back at our goals for 2020 to see if we actually were able to accomplish them. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so the first thing we looked at this year was building a milking stanchion for our goats to get our dairy program. Did you get that done?
Fail. I didn't even get close. I cleaned one corner of the barn for it, the tack room, and we were so neck deep in projects by the time that everybody started kidding. I just let it go.
All right. 1 fail, 0 successes. Next one was looking at some fencing. So we were going to fence in a lot of our front southern area, I guess you'd say, on our property, on our 20 acres, for the goats to run free. Did we get that done?
Progress was made. So this wasn't a complete failure, but it wasn't a complete success. So the buck goats and most of the girl runs that are in the what we call the buck barn did get put in. They still could be expanded a little bit, but at least the buck pens are pretty much permanent now. The girls that are in the doe pen, however, did not. As far as the back 40 acres, we got the fence posts put in with very few exceptions. We got the fence line done between us and the neighbor. And we did get some fences fixed where the old neighbor had cut and left the fence open. We did get all of that put together and get a gate up. So we probably hit about half of what we planned. So if we can get some of the big posts in this year and get some wire run, we should be done with it. So progress was made.
All right, so in 2019, we had a pretty rough year with birds. We didn't really get some good hatches going.
We didn't hatch at all.
We didn't hatch at all, that's right. We didn't even turn the incubator on. We just never, I don't know, never got to it, had too many problems with it.
Well, remember that's when they told me I had cancer. That
Oh yeah, that whole cancer scare. Whatever. So, 2020, our goal was to get back on the hatching train, all of our birds going along, and did we do that?
Yes, we succeeded here. So, we had the best geese hatch we've ever had. In fact, because of the weird year, our geese actually laid all the way into June, which is really late for us. So, we had goslings all the way into July. Our turkey program kind of was up and down, but our chickens did phenomenal. I must have hatched, I think I hatched like 75 or 85 chickens this year, which is a lot for us.
Yeah.
And probably did about 40 turkeys is all, but we did. We had a much better hatch year. And then, of course, we added quail this fall and had a pretty good hatch out of them, and that's going to be on our new agenda for 2021. So we did do it.
Awesome. So now, with the birds, we're also going to put in runs on the houses. And that was going to get them outside. So did we get it done?
Nope, sorry, failed here too. We got tied up with the mud in the sunroom, getting the fencing in, and moving into our hip camp venture this year. So we kind of shifted gears with the change of, everything this year. So on top of that, lumber prices went insane this year. I'm sure if you had to buy anything, you know that lumber went through the roof. And there for a while, the line to get into Home Depot was 45 minutes to an hour for us locally.
Yeah.
So it did get put on the back burner. The thing I'm reading now is that they're saying lumber prices are going to start coming back down. So fingers crossed there.
All right. So last thing on the birds is going to be about pastured poultry. We are going to get poultry, get it out in runs kind of in the backyard, eating more grass, bugs, and all that kind of stuff versus store-bought feed. Did we manage that?
We did. So specifically our pasture poultry was going to be our Cornish program, and we did give that a try. We have decided we're not going to do it again in 2021. Just don't really care for the Cornish. But we did have them in a yard pen. We did have them on grass for most of the summer until it just got too dry. I was running a sprinkler. And, so we succeeded there. We did go ahead and run our Cornish cross program, and it did okay.
All right, so we're going to switch from poultry now to gardening. So we had a plan to put in some garden trellises, and we were going to convert those into a big 30-foot greenhouse, monster thing, plus get some trees and berries planted. What did we get done of any of that?
Well, the trees and the berries went in.
Okay.
So we succeeded there. We got part of the new trellis greenhouse conversion thing. Basically, it's a glorified high tunnel. We had some of it started, but then backed up into the sunroom and mudroom construction and just never got it done. So we made progress. I won't have as much to do this spring, but we made progress but didn't make it.
All right, so everybody loves the bunnies. Let's just get the bunny thing out of the way. How did the bunnies do this year?
Well, as everybody knows, my shows all got canceled. So we had planned to go to nationals. That got canceled a week and a half before the show, which was nice because at least I hadn't left yet because I had decided to drive to North Carolina. So that worked out really nice. I hadn't picked up the rental car or anything yet. Convention got canceled entirely. So the last time I showed was the beginning of March, and I actually won a reserve and show, which was huge. And we have not seen a show table since. Our breeding program did fine. We produced some really nice rabbits this year. The last time I looked, I've sold 180 rabbits this year, which is like 3 times what's normal. So I'm going to say we had success with the rabbits. We did really pretty well with them, all things considered.
Definitely. So now let's switch over to construction. We had a big thing set this year, right? We were going to put on a mudroom. We were going to put on a sunroom. We were going to put on, some driveways into my garage. We talked about extra buildings, putting in gravel. I mean, we were going big this year because Nikki's dad was going to be home available. I was going to help get his dump truck fixed. I mean, we had this big goal set, and, we went for it. So how much of that did we actually get done this year?
Well, the mudroom and sunroom construction was a complete success. We've got it done. They're sheeted, they're caulked, they're trimmed, and Kanan got them painted. So the exterior is complete done. The interior is still a work in progress. I started and I hurt my back, and so we didn't get it all done. But we did at least make some progress, and they are enclosed, which is super nice. The car shed program, so we had a huge spot. We were going to put 2 little car pods so Kanan had extra car storage. That, literally, the day we went to start drilling holes, the whole plan got scrapped, went out the window, and instead we made one big building. So we ended up with a 20 by 30 car shed, and it's pretty close to done. It'll have to be trimmed and painted this year, and the doors still need to be put on. But the gravel went in. Kanan did go help Dad with the dump truck. So it all got put in. We've got gravel sitting over there. I started the pad and then didn't put it all in. The one big failure that we just basically had to walk away from because at that time he was already on furlough. We were worried about money. Is the concrete pads out in front of the shop that he wanted. That's just gone on hiatus. We don't know if that's going to be a project down the road or not, but that's the one true failure in all of our building programs this year.
But at the same time, it was kind of like a selected failure. We knew it was going to be iffy, so we kind of let it go for the point, came up with a secondary plan as needed, and I think it might be a better plan because there's a reason I wanted the pads, and I think I've got another way around it that is probably going to be better than actually needing the pads. So we'll keep that for later on, maybe a 2021 plan. Now, going from there, I think one of the things we wanted to do this last year was really get into some farm tours. Now, I think we had one planned in June, right? Was the first one we had planned?
We were going to do one in June, and then COVID hit, and so we never even really announced it. So the big thing was we kind of shifted gears, and in the fall, we went ahead and decided we would do rabbit class instead of a farm tour.
Right.
And then the entire state of Oregon burst into flame. I mean, pretty much everything. Yep. So we ended up canceling about, 4 days beforehand.
Yep. Because
the smoke here, we weren't all that close to a fire, but the smoke was horrendous. And we were worried about everybody's health. So we went ahead and canceled. We did reschedule into October, and only had 3 people show up, but they were great attendees. It was the first time I've done a rabbit class, so I learned a lot. They said they learned a lot. They could have just been being nice to me. But you did a little short farm tour there, right? So one of the attendees was my cousin who had already been here, but the other 2 gentlemen that joined us, Kaden took them around and did a tour, and everybody seemed to have a good time. Yeah,
we had a good time. Got to talk some solar stuff versus rabbits, which is nice. I think the last thing we had plans for was the YouTube. Now in 2019, I was really big on the numbers, right? I had set this goal for numbers, and I wanted this many subscribers and views, and all the behind the scenes stuff. For 2020, I just kind of wiped that clean. I said I wasn't going to do any numbers. I wanted to focus on the content, so I wanted some collaborations. I was looking for putting out specific videos that people would look for, that were asking about some LGDs or some turkeys or chickens or anything else. I really wanted to focus on the content. So how much of the plan did we actually accomplish in 2020?
Well, we got some of the collaborations done early. So we had, and you'll have to help me, we had Cheap Homesteading.
Yes.
We had Jim's In-Town Gardening.
Right.
We had, who are those lovely people with the other rabbits that I'm drawing a blank in? Arkansas?
Yes.
Branscombe.
Yeah, the Branscombe farm.
The Branscombe farm. And that was it, right?
No, we had the other family that was just, they were on like an acre, and they did, I can't remember.
Anyway.
We had like 4 or 5 collaborations.
We did have a few people. We had a few people say they were going to participate and then kind of fall off the map.
Yeah.
I think it went okay. We didn't do as many. I think what happened for us, like what happened to everybody, is by June, I think we were all a little shell-shocked on what was happening in the world. We had a super busy spring, and then we got to the summer, and I think it was just every plan kind of started going out the window as everybody kind of went, is this real life? Is this going to last forever kind of thing? And yeah, I tried to make some more videos. We did try and do a better job with that. Sometimes we did great. Sometimes we failed horribly.
Yeah.
And more collaborations are coming. If you've seen any of the recent videos where I've been talking about doing the female farmer thing, we are going to be starting that. It's probably going to be New Year's now. But we are going to start talking to other, particularly women that are homesteading. There's not a whole lot of women doing the whole homesteading thing. So we're going to talk to more women that are doing it. Because it seems like a lot of the big channels have a very male influence. Not that I have a problem with that. But it's interesting to get perspective from the other side, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
That said, I know he wasn't going to worry about the numbers. But guys, we doubled everything. We doubled our subscriber numbers. We doubled our view counts. Yeah. Impossible stuff. Stuff we never would have guessed would have happened.
Yeah.
And it's because you guys are here and you're watching the content and you're sharing it. And we appreciate that so much. We really try to make good stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
And it shows, we feel like our growth kind of shows that maybe not everybody's buying into the real flashy, look at me kind of channels and are really looking for real homesteading stuff, and that we're providing that. And so thank you for being a part of that.
Yep, definitely. So I guess with all of those things checked off, if you're keeping score, some of the things we got done, a lot of it we made progress on, some of the things we just flat didn't get to. But the overall, I think, report card would say that, yes, we're probably in the B range. You got a good 80% of it done. You made some progress. There's a couple things you didn't do. So I'm going to call it a B for 2020.
I'm a harsher judge. I'm thinking C, but that's still a pass.
Was it really as bad as everybody says? Maybe. It might have been. It's hard to say. Anyway, 2020 was, I think, somewhat successful, right? We made it through. We're still here. We're still trying. So, that's got to count for something, right?
Sure.
Anyway, that's it for this time. Happy homesteading. I think this is coming out Christmas or the day after Christmas. So hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas. Have a great New Year's. We will come out next with our 2021 plan of what we plan to do.
We'll see you in 2021 with that.
Exactly. So this will be the end of the year, so thanks for hanging out with us for 2020. Hopefully you guys got to see a lot of this, and we'll see you next time.